He challenged the bar to speak out, but not to please the government or the opposition.
At the Ghana Bar Association annual conference in Wa, the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, accused the GBA of failing to show fairness in its positions on critical national issues. He argued that the association's voice often mirrors that of the opposition rather than maintaining neutrality.
The three petitions aforementioned touch and concern office holders of three constitutional bodies critical to the sustenance of our democracy. The independence of the three institutions has been guaranteed by the Constitution. The three occupants were all women of significant repute and members of our noble profession. The three committees established pursuant to Article 146 complied with the constitutional procedure to the letter. And yet, the bar found its voice only in relation to the third petition. Coincidentally, the voice of the bar amplified the voice of the opposition.
The Attorney General pointed to the association's silence during the removal of former Electoral Commission chairperson Charlotte Osei and her deputies as compared to its vocal opposition to the recent process to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo.
Immediately upon assuming office in 2017, an Article 146 petition was filed for the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Charlotte Osei, and her deputies from office. The bar saw no basis to speak out about compliance with due process. But in recent times, the bar found its voice when petitions based upon the same constitutionally defined procedures were brought in respect of the removal from office of the former Chief Justice. Honest question we have to ask ourselves is, what changed?
But GBA President Ifeanyi Agate noted that the bar was concerned about the processes involved in the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo.
The bar recognizes the fact that the power of removal can be exercised under Article 146. But the bar's major concern relates to the process. In the absence of specific rules of procedure, the sketchy process potentially lends itself to arbitrariness and a lack of fairness. Hence, the bar's resolution on the matter.
The theme for the Ghana Bar Association's 2025 Annual General Conference is Sustaining the Fourth Republican Constitutional Democracy, the Role of the Judiciary and the Legal.
Meanwhile, Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafo-Bonny has urged political leadership to take bold and far-reaching measures to bring the menace of illegal small-scale mining to an end. His speech was read on his behalf by Justice Hafisata Amaliboba at the opening of the 2025 Annual General Conference of the Ghana Bar Association in Wa.
Unspeakable death, pain and destruction that galamsey has brought to this country, I urge political leadership to take bold and far-reaching measures to bring this menace to a long overdue end. We cannot continue to dither. In September 2025, on the repeal of the Environmental Protection, Mining in Forest Reserve Regulations 2022, LI 2462, which has permitted mining in forest reserves. It is a good place to start if we sincerely want to win the war against galamsey. The time to act is now without any further delay.
And we're picking off the galamsey conversation from the bar conference because the coalition against galamsey have also been speaking about it, and they say it is outraged over what it describes as the failure of government to recognize the urgency of the illegal mining crisis. The group says that the president's recent remark on galamsey falls short of the urgency required to address the menace.
President John Mahama, during an encounter with the media last week, cautioned against the hasty declaration of a state of emergency in the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. According to the president, while the idea of a state of emergency might appear attractive, it should only be considered as a last resort. The president's position, however, has not sat well with some stakeholders, including the Coalition Against Galamsey Ghana.
Our government's failure to see the urgency and the crisis we face from illegal and irresponsible mining is deeply distressing and disappointing. The coalition again reiterates our disappointment with the recent statement of His Excellency the President. These statements seem to support the environmental terrorism. The President's narrative and de facto justification on such a platform will only serve to give oxygen to impunity. This is deeply unfortunate and regrettable.
According to the convener of the Coalition Against Galamsey Ghana, Ken Ashigbe, the prolonged tolerance for illegal mining has far-reaching economic consequences.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission is considering a request from the Ghana Water Company Limited for a staggering 280% increase in water tariffs. This is not a request for a tariff increase. It is an admission of catastrophic failure. It is an invoice being presented to the Ghanaian people for a mess we did not create. We are being forced to pay for the crimes of others.
For his part, convener of the One Ghana movement, Senyor Hosi, blamed the lack of progress on a lack of political will.
We had our own friends and brothers, Sam George, Ogujeto, and they said all these things, we can finish in a week. We are dealing with months. You should really be embarrassed. And we should also stop having the conversation about what has been done. Oh yes, we have done it. And so what? And ECOC is saying, have our waters improved? No. Our forest reserves? No. So where are we? If the government's problem is that dealing with galamsey may affect gold production, then this government is very misplaced and lack economic capacity and skill to run this country.
The group is meanwhile, amongst others, recommending the president provides milestones and timelines to serve as a guide for continuous action, demonstrating government's commitment.
Still on illegal mining, the Western Regional National Security Liaison Officer, Brigadier General Musa Waja retired, is advocating for the dredging of the Bonsa River to restore its flow, which has been disrupted by illegal mining activities. Well, this call follows a joint operation by the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operatives and Western Region National Security Operatives in Esoso and Bonsa River sites, both located in the Takwa Inswaye municipality. Irama Smith has more.
Bonsa River site is a small community in the Takwa Inswaye municipality with a diverse population of around 1,000 residents from various backgrounds and nationalities. Despite the fertile land's suitability for farming, many residents are trading in their agricultural livelihoods for illegal gold mining. Locals recall that the area was once renowned for its lush cocoa farms, now largely cleared to make way for mining. The residents are calling on President John Dramani Mahama for the establishment of the responsible cooperative mining in the area to streamline the activity and for a safer environment.
Because galamsey no say ecto mine ye pa say good board on mati kampo say companies no.
I believe galamsey has become a vital part of our economy, even supporting newly established Gold Board. If the government promotes responsible cooperative mining and licenses us to operate, it will greatly benefit everyone involved.
But when it comes to proper mining, yeah, we blacks can mine very well. But what we lack is education. So, the only community mining now, and for a habia and farm with proper structure, BBI did now problem. I think it will help.
On Monday, September 15, the Anti-Illegal Mining Task Force, led by Brigadier General Musa Waja retired, carried out a successful operation at Bonsa River site and Esoso, destroying 4 Shamfang machines, seizing 10 water pumping machines, and burning down makeshift structures used by illegal miners whose activities were directly impacting the Bonsa River.
In Esoso, where the Bonsa River flows, we realized that the pollution was so serious to the extent that there was a blockage on the river, and that has led the ability of the water to be increased, and it has slowed down the flow of the water downstream. We managed to cover Bonsa River, where we destroyed 2 main mining sites. Most of the illegal miners on the scene has run away, but at the end of the operation, it's quite successful.
During the operation, we observed significant damage to the Bonsa River's banks, with sections blocked, disrupting its flow. The bridge connecting Bonsa and Asiedu is also under threat. In an interview, Western Regional National Security Liaison Officer Brigadier General Musa Waja, retired, recommended dredging the Bonsa River to restore its flow, which has been severely impacted by illegal mining activities.
My recommendation is that there is the need for the Bonsa River to be dredged so that there will be more flow of water. That is very, very important. And there is a need for us to constantly patrol around that place to make sure that what is happening now does not continue again.
Irama Smith, TV3 News.
Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Gyamfi, says his outfit is committed to helping reclaim some 1,000 hectares of devastated forest reserve lands in the country. He says that the entity is not only interested in buying gold, but will support to ensure responsible and sustainable mining across the country.
At a media briefing in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the Gold Board said the organization will support persons who desire to engage in legal and responsible mining. He added they will also support the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat to deal ruthlessly with recalcitrant illegal miners.
We cannot leave this fight for the minister alone. A lot have been achieved, but to consolidate that and even improve on that, all state agencies, all citizens must support the fight. And what we, as the lead state entity mandated to regulate and oversee gold trade in Ghana, can do is to support their noble efforts and to ensure that they are able to discharge, talking about NIMOS, their mandate effectively. Yes, we want gold, but we want gold that is mined responsibly. We want gold that is sourced responsibly, and we'll stop at nothing in supporting the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources in achieving that. Because when the gold is mined and sourced responsibly, we get better value, and the reputation of the nation is enhanced, our environment is protected, lives are preserved.
Sami Gyamfi also announced the decision by the Gold Board to support the reclamation of 1,000 hectares of devastated forest reserve lands. As part of the support to fight illegal mining, the Gold Board presented a check for 5 million Ghana cedis to the sector ministry and 5 Toyota Hilux pickups to help the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakufi-Boa, said the gesture was timely and would serve as a major boost to the fight against the galamsey menace. He assured the public that government will sustain its efforts to combat illegal mining until all devastated forests are restored and water bodies cleaned up.
Today we have tracked more than almost 800 excavators in our system. We are pushing to make sure that every excavator in this country is already in the system that will be tracked and geofenced. We are working closely with the Ministry of Local Government, working with the district MMDCs to make sure they take responsibility at their district. We have not given one mining lease in 8 months in any forest reserve, and it's for good intention.
The Director of Operations at the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat is Colonel Dominic Bois.
We believe in this mantra that the fight against illegal mining is not going to be a sprint. It will be a marathon.
In a related development, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has announced the revision of visa processing procedures for Chinese nationals as part of government's renewed measures to combat illegal mining. The Foreign Affairs Minister was speaking at the Government Accountability Series.
Very great relations with China, and to be fair to the Chinese, a lot of them are doing good business. They are investing in transformative projects. There is no official China government policy to come and destroy our environment. And they have made clear anytime we have engaged with officials in Beijing, they have been supporting us to get rid of their nationals who come in. And as you do know, we have been cracking down, arresting them, prosecuting them, and we will continue with the arrests and prosecutions. I can confirm to you that as part of my recent visit to China, I went to the state where they are notorious for sending their nationals here to engage in galamsey. I met with the governor, the city authorities, and Director Asia is here. He can confirm that in that meeting, I did not mince words at all. I really stated President Mohammed's position that this cannot continue. We welcome good investors to come partner with us and transform our economy, but we will not accept you sending your nationals here to engage in galamsey. And we made that very clear to the city authorities. What we have also done subsequently following that meeting is that we have a new policy now at our embassy in Beijing and our consulate in Guangzhou, where we no longer process group visa applications.
Away from galamsey-related subject, and embattled Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Kwame Bafo, also known as Abronye DC, has been granted a bail by an Accra Circuit Court on the third attempt by his lawyers. Abronye, who is facing charges of false publication and offensive conduct to breach of peace, was arraigned before the court over comments he made against the Inspector General of Police.
After Friday's remand of the NPP Bono Regional Chair drew a lot of backlash, lawyers of Abronye went to court again to repeat a bail application. Led by Daniel Mate Ado, the lawyers indicated that Abronye's health was in a steep decline since the last time they were in court. He prayed the court to grant his client's bail, a plea which was not opposed by the prosecution. The presiding judge then granted the NPP Bono Regional Chair a 50,000 cedis bail with one surety without justification. The court also ordered him to report to the police every Wednesday. Daniel Mate spoke to the media after the hearing.
My client's health was an issue that needed urgent attention. I even attempted to visit him yesterday, but I couldn't get access to him because I couldn't get clearance to see him. But his health is, a serious issue that he needs urgent attention. And that was the basis why I had to run back to the court and pray to my Lord that, my Lord, this is the issue. There has been changes in circumstances, so my Lord, hear me and then hear my prayer. And Lord, be good, my Lord, heard me.
Abronye DC was arrested on September 8 on a charge of offensive conduct conducive to a breach of public peace. According to the police, the Bono Regional Chair made inflammatory remarks against the Inspector General of Police. Prior to his arrest, Abronye applied for political asylum to 8 countries: Côte d'Ivoire, the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, Canada, Spain, and Germany. In those requests, Abronye cited persistent political persecution, threats to his life, and alleged misuse of state security powers under the current administration. He is set to reappear at the Accra Circuit Court on October 7. Lodi Dwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
To one of our headline stories this evening, and a conversation between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin discussing the potential of organ transplantation to reverse aging and extend human lifespan to at least 150 years has sparked intense discussion. With the world facing a growing organ shortage crisis, pig organs are being explored as a potential solution to the global organ shortage crisis. There is more on this report.
During a military parade in Beijing about a week ago, a surprising topic of organ transplants and immortality popped up between Russian President Putin and Chinese leader Xi Jinping about how human organs can be repeatedly transplanted so that one can get younger and younger in spite of age.
Before, it's said to be very rare to live up to 70, and now it is said that you can still be a child at 70.
In a few decades, as biotechnology continues to develop, human organs will continue to be transplanted and people will become younger.
It may have been a mere conversation, but will repeated organ transplantation be key to living young to about 150 years? Organ transplants, no doubt, have saved hundreds of thousands of lives the world over. A new kidney from a living donor may last between 20 to 25 years, while that from a deceased donor may last between 15 to 20 years. But it is no secret the world is facing a growing organ shortage crisis, with demand for transplants far exceeding available organs. This has prompted the urgent need for innovative solutions like xenotransplantation.
Xeno means across species, so you have getting an organ from a different species to another species. For example, getting an organ from a pig or a rabbit and transplanting it into a monkey or a human. So that's basically what xenotransplantation means.
According to eGenesis, a clinical stage biotechnology company, in the United States alone, while a remarkable 39,035 transplants were performed in 2020, more than 100,000 people remained on the waiting list. The average wait time for a kidney is 3 to 5 years at most centers. The situation has prompted the company to develop human-compatible organs, with trials exploring pig organ safety and efficacy in humans.
I'm been on dialysis for 5 months now. I think since the animal organ was successful, I myself, I prefer going for it. Africa and especially Ghana, they are not prepared to donate. So going for animal organ, if it is successful, I 100% support it.
In the first place, no, I wouldn't know how much I know last, how long it lasts. So that one's no.
Unfortunately, we're not getting a lot of people donating and we are not getting a lot of organs for such transplantation. This bioengineering company you mentioned, they've done some evaluations and found out that some way, somehow, these pigs can be genetically modified so that it may be more feasible to transplant their organs into humans. And fortunately, there's been some initial successes. And of course, with improvement in technology, hopefully sooner than later, we may get much better outcomes from such xenotransplantations.
This was 62-year-old Rick Slayman. In March 2024, he became the world's first living recipient of a genetically edited pig kidney, but died 2 months later due to cardiac issues. 2 other patients have also received pig heart transplants, but those procedures were unsuccessful as the recipient died a few weeks later. 67-year-old Tim Andrews is currently the longest living pig kidney recipient in the world, 6 months after pig kidney transplant. While xenotransplantation may be promising, it is still early days yet.
I'm just imagining that in our local environment, people would say, hey, we can't have an animal organ transplanted into me. Additionally, the ethical things, people come up with animal rights issues as well, rightly so. I'm sure that may be another dimension of it where people would say that you are exploiting the animals. Because when it comes to humans donating to other humans, you actually need to get consent from the donor before you take away their organs. So another dimension would be that these animals are not able to voice out any consent to this. So maybe there's a bit of exploitation with that. But I'm sure with time, these barriers may be surpassed or surmounted.
Further research will certainly be needed, and any advancement will need careful ethical consideration and standards.
In more news tonight, the University of Professional Studies Accra, UPSA, has kicked off its 5-day UPSA 1000 initiative. This initiative is a mentorship program aimed at empowering aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners with practical skills. Leading the charge as project lead and senior lecturer Dr. Juliana Akushika Ando, who describes the initiative as part of the faculty's commitment to giving back to society.
As part of efforts to mentor the next generation of business leaders, the University of Professional Studies, Accra, launched the UPSA 1000 project to reshape the mindset of young Ghanaians. Project lead Dr. Akushika Ando says The initiative is designed to prepare participants for the realities of today's job market.
We came up with this 5-day training program to reorient the youth and train them in entrepreneurship so that whenever they identify opportunities, they're able to identify the opportunities and also carry on and come up with something better.
Some participants expressed excitement over the knowledge gained, describing the mentorship sessions as eye-opening and transformative.
Capital is the main challenge that most of we, the youth, are facing. We have the idea, but the capital to start becomes the problem. With the help of this program, I can build upon the idea and I have to explore out there and help reduce the rate of unemployment.
I'm finding difficulties in marketing my products. That's the palm oil. Even though I do a little bit of the marketing online and then printing of flyers and all those things, I don't get the market, the people that I need them to buy my product. So I want to come and learn more on how to market the products to my customers.
It will enhance my knowledge and also add up for me to be able to know how to deal with customers and also be able to prospect more business and then make more money.
Vice Dean for the School of Graduate Studies, Dr. Andreyuko says the event seeks to tackle real business challenges and explore strategies to help participants scale their ventures.
We are availing ourselves for the next 4 days, not just to teach them, but to train them and to understand exactly what they want and how we can give them solutions from that side. So most of the facilitators are industry people who have worked with entrepreneurs, and we understand what they do, we understand what they need, and that's exactly what we are doing today for them.
The project, which began on Monday, wraps up on Friday, September 19th, 2025. Participants will be awarded certificates to mark their successful completion of the program.
You're still watching News 360. Stay with us. We have business, sports, entertainment all coming up.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Now, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, says the recent depreciation of the Ghana cedi, nearly 8% over the past 2 weeks, is driving an expected increase in fuel prices from the 16th of this month. According to the Chamber, prices of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, diesel and petrol are projected to rise by up to 6%.
The local currency has weakened from 11 cedis 20 pesos to 12 cedis 7 pesos within a fortnight. COMAC estimates that the pump price of petrol could reach 14 cedis 17 pesos per litre, while diesel may retail at around 14 cedis 67 pesos. LPG is expected to rise by 4.23%, hitting almost 15 cedis per kilogram.
The depreciation of the cedi we've seen over the past 2 years will also add to that. But getting to the end of the month, we expect prices to stabilize. We expect the price of finished product to stabilize at the end of the month. And if the cedi is also held in check, then we expect a very stable pricing from end of this month going.
Despite the outlook, the Chamber remains optimistic that the cedi could rebound in the coming weeks.
We believe in the Finance Minister's ability to still keep the cedi where it is. If not, bring it down to the 10 and the 11. We will be happy if it comes down, because once it comes down, the price of the product comes down and consumers are able to patronize.
Meanwhile, the participants at the Pet Fund Games highlighted the importance of work-life balance, calling for more initiatives that promote wellness in the workplace.
We work very hard in the office, right? And some of our people don't have even the time to get out. And I think for their wellness, work-life balance is very good.
Came here to distress, to have fun, to exercise our bodies, and to, share solidarity with all our other industry players.
This is an opportunity for oil marketing companies to come fraternize, and most importantly, to keep healthy.
Perfect opportunity for us to come out and then re-energize ourselves for the days ahead, the months ahead. The year is almost getting to a close.
MTN Ghana has rolled out a new consumer promotion on the Momo app designed to reward customers with exciting prices. The initiative aims to promote safer and more convenient digital transactions across the country.
MTN Mobile Money Limited launched Mensaka promo, which will run from September 15 to December 15, 2025. Customers who use the Momo app for payments, transfers, airtime and other services will qualify for daily, weekly and monthly draws. Prizes range from e-cash rewards of 100 cedis to 5,000 cedis, with Yellow Biz routers also up for grabs. The ultimate grand prize is 100,000 cedis for the top winner. Chief Technology and Service Delivery Officer of Mobile Money Limited, Charles Asamoah Asa, said this promotion is to reward loyalty.
At Mobile Money Limited, our mission has always been simple: make financial services accessible, convenient, and rewarding for everyone. The Mensaka promo reflects that mission under the theme One Momo App, Endless Rewards. This initiative is not about prizes. It is about building trust, driving adoption of the Momo app, and making digital finance part of everyday life.
Senior Manager of FinTech Channels, Abdul Majid Rufai, assured of their commitment to tackle fraud.
We believe that educating the customer is the way to go to fight the fraudsters. What we have done is today, when it comes to the SMS that customer gets, we block a number of SMSs that goes to the customer. If you try to mimic the mobile money messages, we block the message from getting to the customers. The Trust campaign has TV ad, radio apps, RPM, and social media messages that will create awareness to our customers to let them know that we are with them when it comes to the fraud education.
The campaign-themed One Momo App Endless Reward is being run in partnership with the National Lottery Authority to ensure fairness and transparency.
A segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
Still, Misaka, and Nemum was a summer brabo, and it can afford swab
Misaka pensions, Carol.
Misaka or the Sika.
Misaka insurance.
Misaka loan.
Momo Fogosuri ye echumaden, the aboye nina ye sika hubai. Se MTN, ana momo, my ye ni befrewa, or the 724. Nenumpo orin bitsao, one-time password, and now say, Nama weni na unsa.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. Now, the 2025-26 Ghana Premier League kicked off with drama, resilience, and early statements of intent across the country. My colleague Mutala Yakubu visited the various venues and compiled the following report.
The opening round of the 2025-2026 Ghana Premier League served up drama, surprises, and crucial points as the new campaign got underway. The season kicked off on Friday with rejuvenated Heart of Oak held to a goalless draw by newly promoted Hoho United. Despite playing with 10 men, the debutants stood firm to frustrate Didi Dramani's men who had to settle for a point.
We still found the right spaces. Sometimes you need an extra patience to play one more pass to be able to break the opponent down, because you need a lot of patience to be able to break a team that is solely defending with 10 men in their box. You don't find the spaces, it's so tight, and so sometimes you need to force the passes so that you go in for the second balls of staying more wide, and then those small gaps. Sometimes I find it difficult to describe those small gaps. Yeah. They are so sensitive spaces that players just need to find themselves in, and then just that pass goes in there a 10, and then it's a good. Of course.
Asante Kotoko looking to bounce back from an underwhelming Galkator 4 and a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Brekum Chelsea at the Golden City Park. Albert Amour's second-half strike proved decisive, handing the Porcupines all 3 points.
We had the historical background of saying Kotoko in 15 years, if not won a game here before. Then I said there's always one day that will change your life. So I think we do the sizing in the first half. So the second half we saw what they had. You see, all our plan is towards what we are going to play against the Para United. So you see, the second half we took over. And then at the end of the day, football did justice to us.
Last season's runners-up, Heart of Lions began on the right note with a narrow 1-0 victory over Dreams FC at the Pando Sports Stadium. Mediama also impressed on the road, securing a 2-0 victory against Young Apostles. Nations FC came from behind to edge Swedru All Blacks 2-1. Elsewhere, Holy Stars versus 11 Wonders and Vision versus Samatex both ended in goalless stalemates. Karela United, who flirted with relegation last season, got off to a perfect start with a 1-0 victory over Adriana Stars. With these results, Matchday 1 has set the stage for what promises to be a thrilling and competitive season ahead.
Let's move on to Europe, where Arsenal coach Mikel Arteta says his team's Champions League agony last season will help them in this season's campaign as they bid to win the competition for the first time in their history. Now, the Gunners lost to eventual winners Paris Saint-Germain in the semi-finals last season, and Arteta said his team were the wiser for it ahead of their opener at Athletic Bilbao on Tuesday.
And at that level, it's extremely difficult. But I think even with that condition, we did really, really well. We gave ourselves an unbelievable chance, and we were very unlucky in the semi-final not to get through. Well, it is that, and that moment you get deflated, and you have to understand what you need to do to put yourself back in the same position and start actions actually that matter to give yourself the chance to achieve that. And that's it. You take a lot of learnings from it. It's painful because it's not only what we feel, it's about the expectation that we created and the real conviction that we had within the club, the team, that we could go all the way because we showed a very high level of consistency and quality throughout the competition, and learn from it and try to be better.
Moving on to the world of athletics, Mundo Duplantis once again redefined the limits of pole vaulting, clearing a staggering 6.30 meters to win gold and set a world record for the 14th time in his history at the Tokyo World Championships. The Swedish superstar defended his world title in breathtaking fashion against one of the deepest fields ever assembled. Duplantis opened his campaign confidently, soaring past his early heights before locking horns with Greece's Kouralis, who produced a career-defining performance to finish second. And also Nigeria's Tobia Musan finished second to claim silver in the 100-meter hurdles. That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Lishan. There's more after this break.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, two contestants, Tasala from the northern region and Ajwa from the Eastern region were last night evicted from the Ghana's Most Beautiful reality show. Now, their eviction leaves 9 contestants to battle for the ultimate, the car, the crown, and the bragging rights. We bring you some excerpts from the show. Week 7 of Ghana's Most Beautiful focused on traditional games and their importance to society. To many, it is believed that through these games, vital cultural elements and traditions have been transmitted from one generation to the next.
When bows and arrows failed them, today that training has become a sport. A place where young men prove courage, strength, and to win respect. It is called Sumbe Jinge. It is performed during our festivals.
Through their presentations, the contestants shed light on the cultural significance of Ghanaian traditional games. These games reflect moral lessons, communal spirit, and ancestral wisdom unique to their respective regions. As always, the show came with its fair share of tension. In the end, evictions were inevitable and 2 contestants bowed out of the competition.
The lady with the cute bow, Afeziwa.
Afeziwa, you are safe. Go backstage. A round of applause.
On a brighter note, Asakia clinched her 2nd consecutive Star Performer Award, making it 3 awards so far this season, a remarkable achievement.
My journey is Allah's journey, and I just keep putting in my absolute 100% every week. I tell myself there's no room to relax, and I know that when it comes to votes, I am not a competition when it comes to votes. So the question is, every single day, when do I get evicted? And since I don't know, I have to bring on my best every single day, hoping to touch the heart. See that at least their daughter is doing so well so they can rally behind me. Today was a close call for me. I'm begging you all, the people of the Upper East region, please help me out.
Because this game originates from love and not hate. My princess, come to me!
And that's it for the Entertainment News segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you so much, Noella. Coming up, international news.
A court in Zambia has sentenced 2 men to 2 years in prison for attempting to use witchcraft to kill President Hakainde Hichilema. Zambia, Leonard Firi, and Mozambican Justin Mabulese Kandunde were convicted under the Witchcraft Act after being arrested in December with charms in their possession, including a live chameleon. Magistrate Fine Mayambu said in his ruling, "It is my considered view that the convicts were not only the enemy of the head of state, but were also enemies of all Zambians. The case has been closely followed in Zambia, as this was the first time anyone was put on trial for attempting to use witchcraft against a president."
On that interesting note, we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu Datin.
And I am Portia Gabor. Do join Alfredo Cancer at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight, as well as at 9 p.m. the sports station. Good evening.